My talk today is about my childhood, how the threads of my childhood, the light in the dark room we had, and the transformation of this beautiful nation taught me to understand why and where I belong. I will start with a series of pictures, which are historical pictures, which I believe you will relate to very strongly. And this is the journey that I've come to know over the years. The journey of my family started here with my father meeting Lesha Gazaid in 1968 when my father took the Dwarka boat from Mumbai to Sharjah, landed in Sharjah, saw His Highness Sheikh Rashid, Sheikh Zayed, and many of the founding fathers watching a camel race, sitting down, squatting, watching this race, and my father took pictures of them. 2 days later, my father developed these pictures, went to Sheikh Zayed, gave it to him, and His Highness was overwhelmed by what he saw, and he told my father, "You're Fannaan." Those words resonated so deeply in my father's heart. The way he told it to us, I still remember. He had tears, emotions in his heart, in his mind. And me and my mother, we knew there was a journey forward for us in this nation. And this was the beginning of our family's journey for almost 5 decades in the UAE. So I came from a very bohemian, artistic family. Every day in our home was something new happening in an artistic way. I used to follow my father in photographic expeditions. We would go morning, evening, photographing highnesses, fishing men, desert races, and I would accompany him everywhere I would go as much as I could. So what I show you a picture very close to my heart is with me with Sheikh Rashid. I had such amazing memories with late Sheikh Rashid, and I would see him in his close environments in the rural school in different areas. But this picture, what I want to talk to you about is a light. Light plays a very, very important role in photography. And if you're able to capture the right lighting, a simple picture can be so beautiful, can be magical. And you can see the way the light is portraying on us. Sheikh Rice is signing a note which is giving to me. And I'm just about to take that note along with the pen that he gave me. And to this day, I still have those moments. It takes me back to those moments. I remember them very, very closely. And it's something very, very magical that has happened in my family, in my life. And how did this happen? Here. This is our home. This, you see, is my mother standing guard against the kitchen and the dark room. So if you see, there are thalis, cooking utensils. On the right side, you see dishes which are for developing negatives and photographs. When that curtain closes, that room that all we had became a dark room. I would go with my father in the mornings, see him taking pictures, but in the evenings, I would accompany my mother in the dark room while she would develop negatives and pictures. So from the moment understanding what light comes on a camera, analog camera, which you have to focus manually, meter it, create that image, go in that room and develop the negative. Understand what timing and lighting is important to develop a negative, make sure the negative is perfect. So for over 50 years, my mother and father had a partnership, a marriage, a photographer and darkroom technician, and I was middle of that. So I grew up on that. Those walls were the walls I used to paint on, sketch on, draw on. So I grew up in the environment, a very bohemian environment. While other Indian families in this part of the world, the parents want them to go become scientists and work as engineers. I grew up to be, or they wanted me to be, something different. Not just that. And what they wanted me to be is an artist. And in my mind, there's something that I want to do, but I want to just show you 2 pictures that are very iconic. That is the creek, and that And some of you may not know this. For the gentleman who just came for the first time in the UAE, this is the hand abra, which you go from there to Bur Dubai. With Charana, you did the crossing. And that's how I went to school. That was my daily expedition to go to school. And one more beautiful picture of the souk. These are the souks of the UAE. This is what my father captured. Again, you can see the beautiful light that's coming down on the visitors' souk. They're buying clothing, food, dates. The mackerel salted fish was sold here. This is where we came from. So the transformation of this nation has allowed me to grow into who I am today, which I'll talk about next. And I knew that I wanted to go beyond what my parents wanted me to be, an artist, but I wanted to be more of a person of business. So I went to school in the United States. I went to Miami to study finance. I did undergrad. I did master's. But the threads in me, the threads from my brother of the UAE, pulled me back. I knew I belonged back in the UAE. I wanted to come back here and make a place for myself. So I started a small art gallery. I was representing brands, furniture brands, lighting brands, artists. And I brought the Louvre Museum to the UAE in 1998. And when I bought the museum, I had a lot of visitors who came to visit this small atelier that I created. And that's me, by the way, in the blue shirt. I was a little bit healthier back then. Sheikh Abdullah, who came and spent a couple of hours understanding why would I bring the Louvre to the UAE. And I told His Highness there was a desire in me to bring an international institution of art to the region. Would I be successful? Probably not. But I want to do something unique. I loved art history. I love art. And I grew up understanding art history and artisans and crafting and creating. And for several years, you can see on the left-hand side is a painting of Sheikh Zayed, which my father painted. And that obelisk is from the Louvre. That's there in my gallery in Dubai. And I realized for doing this for a very, very long time, I was successful in doing so. But I wanted to craft and I wanted to create with my hand. Why should we be importing such things from around the world? Why cannot we make this in the UAE? We have incredible talent over here. We have amazing aspirations to make beautiful things. We have the ability, and this is what I want to do. After years and years of doing this, I changed my mindset. Several years ago, I created an institute of art, an art studio with 100,000 square feet space. Now we have 60 people who are creating, crafting art here in the UAE. I've made hundreds of creations. I use all recycled material as much as I can. This is made from recyclable tent material. After Ramadan, we all go to tents. They're beautiful. What happens to those fabrics? They get thrown away. What do? I collect those fabrics. I repurpose them. And that is a piece of art. And that, thank you. And that piece of art is actually now in the lobby of the Sheraton Grand on Sheikh Zayed Road. So you can just take material which are of no purpose, but create them into works of art. So that's me with a scissor. And everything is cut by hand, sewed by hand, made by hand. Even the wood is recycled wood. So this is what we do in our art studio. In our art studio, we spend days figuring out materiality, craft, and how do we employ those craft skills into making works of art. This started a journey here for me with just desire, absolute desire to make something that I know one day people, if not the UAE, around the world will appreciate, and maybe there's a commercial success. So right there, again, these are all recyclable wood sticks repurposed to create an installation, which is at the moment in the Intercontinental Hotel in the Red Sea. We've just put 5,000 pieces of artwork, all crafted in the UAE, in that project, all made with us in our studio. And this is what we do now in our space. How does this happen? You understand art history. You understand how the techniques that was passed down by generations from all over the world, and how to utilize that into making, crafting, and weaving unique works of art. The sticks are put together, they're sewn in by threads. So the threads are among us, incorporated in this piece of art that you see. So there's a video which you're going to see how we do it. So I've studied research techniques from South America, Africa, Asia, and from our region, Sadhu, to figure out how we sew these elements, how to create a maquette to make a work of art. And this is how it's done. All handcrafted, handmade in our space. It's not easy, but when you put your heart, your mind to it, yes, you can do it. Very simple things, simple threads to make works of art. Now, that is very simple, but look what it became. Yeah. Thank you. So that beautiful light pots is a light installation all the way in Miami. Yes. Made in the UAE, by hand, crafted, exported to Miami. It's a Mika restaurant in Miami. The architect, I have a lot of LinkedIn posts, so I get architects approach me, designers all the time, asking me to collaborate in their projects and see what I can do. And I took a leap of faith. I said, yes, we will make something beautiful in this space. So these light pots, which have 16 different intricate designs, all made by hand. So we had to figure out the skill set, how to make it, craft it. The most important, engineer it for shipping to order from the UAE to Florida to Miami, go there, install it on site. You know what you're going to be proud of? When the visitors of this restaurant, they go sit down over there and they look up, they say, wow, this is beautiful. Where's this from? I love the answer, the UAE. And who made it? Yeah. And who made it? Artisans who had no idea until we all come together, we study, we understand, and we just do it. We make mistakes all along the way, but that's part of the process. The imperfection in our hands is what counts. As we race to the age of AI technology, every day wake up, we are bombarded with something new. You're like, what's going on? I urge you, and I want to end this conversation with a request. I urge you to not forget the beauty in our hands, the crafting ability that is passed on in generations, our forefathers have given us, and we have to take that forward. We have to understand what we do here is going to be admired and loved for generations to come. When we see the museums here in Abu Dhabi, what do we see? We see these beautiful crafted things which go back hundreds and thousands of years ago. And that's real talent in human hand. We cannot forget that. And we have to respect that. And I request and invite you all to my art studio here. It's a beautiful place of creativity, craft. Come, bring your children, be a part of our journey, craft with us, sew with us, and we'll make something beautiful together. Thank you.